Envy is when someone walks around with a pocket full of, "That should have been me." Insecurity is when you turn the volume up on all of the wrong voices. Hate is what happens when you put a shotgun to the face of understanding and it cowers in the corner. Courage is ripping your heart from your chest and saying, "Here, hold on to this for me." Truth is everything that you tell yourself when you realize you are the only one still paying attention. Trust is jumping into someone's arms and knowing you won't have to pick yourself up when it's over. Love, oh love, it's a tablespoonful of hemlock that I'm dying to try. Failure is when you talk yourself out of becoming something amazing. Victory is standing in front of the school bully with no intention to back down and a fist full of irony. Success, it's explaining to your mother exactly what you do for a living without feeling ashamed. It's falling asleep at 2 a.m., waking up at 4 a.m., and going to work with excitement stitched into the fabric of your smile. When I was 14, my friend Adam and I stole a dictionary from our English class. I brought it home, and I set it on fire. Since then, I've been defining things for myself. Rudy Francisco attacks real-life problems. He's honest, he doesn't care how society sees him, and he isn't trying to please other people. The big overall picture of his poetry is the misconceptions that society makes. Claims on Christianity are made in Your God, and in the piece Monster, Francisco discusses the delicate difference between men and monsters. He also sets a time period of 5 years, but for the sake of my soul, I say 6. Fun fact to remember: approximately every 7 years, every skin cell on your body is replaced. That means I'm almost there. Francisco redefines words as we redefine ourselves in his poetry. Definitions: Your God and monster. To the man standing on the corner holding the sign that said, "God hates faggots." I've never seen exactly who it is you paperclip your knees, meld your hands together, and pray to, but I think I know what he looks like. I bet your God is about 5'10". Bet he weighs 185 pounds. Probably stands the way a high school diploma does when it's next to a GED. I bet your God has a mullet. I bet he wears flannel shirts with no sleeves, a fanny pack, and says words like, "Get her done." I bet his high school served racism in the cafeteria and offered hate speech as a second language. I bet he has a swastika inside of his throat and racial slurs tattooed to his tongue just to make intolerance more comfortable in his mouth. I bet he has a burning cross as a middle finger and Jim Crow underneath his nails. Your God is a Confederate flag's wet dream, conceived on the day when the sky decided to slice her own wrists. I bet your God has a drinking problem. I bet he sees the bottom of a shot glass more often than his own children. I bet he pours whiskey on his dreams until they taste like good ideas. He probably cusses like an electric guitar with frets plugged into the ocean. I bet he yells like a schizophrenic nail gun, damaging all the things that care enough about him to get close. I bet that there are angels in heaven with black eyes and broken halos who claim they fell down the stairs. Your God would have made Eve without a mouth and taught her how to spread her legs like a magazine that she will never be pretty enough to be in. sooner or later you will realize that you are praying to your own shadow, that you are standing in front of mirrors and you are worshiping your own reflection. Your God stole my God's identity. And I bet he's buying pieces of heaven on eBay. So the next time that you bend your knees, and the next time you bow your head, I want you to tell your God that my God is looking for him. Monster. One day, a little girl asked me if I believed in monsters. I smiled. I then grabbed Truth by its collar, tucked it deep underneath my arm, and I said, "Love, you know monsters aren't real." And it's times like this that I wish that my sentences came with receipts so I could take back my words. I wasn't being completely honest. When I spoke, I was choked on a secret that has been stapled to the inside of my throat for longer than I can remember. Not only do I believe in monsters, but I've actually seen them whisper themselves into existence. I heard that they carved nightmares into the eyelids of the innocent and linger in dark corners, preying on the unsuspecting. Somehow they have figured out how to walk backwards through 8mm films and to the dreams of those who are never, ever, ever afraid to sleep. I believe in monsters the way that I believe in oxygen. So tell me, how big is your closet? How much space is really underneath the beds that you shaken in the middle of the night? You are a vampire, a werewolf in sheep's clothing. You swallow halos and you spit out nooses. How can I not believe in monsters when I see men like you walking with your knuckles scraping against the concrete? You stand perched on the screams of assaulted women, and then you squeeze yourself into costumes that fool the public into thinking that you are human. How dare you have the audacity to impersonate men? How dare you act as though there isn't a woman out there scrubbing her thighs until they turn stop sign red just to erase your fingerprints from her skin? How can you start to believe that your blood is just as blue as mine? When you speak, I can smell Dante's Inferno on your breath. I have spent the last 6 years of my life wondering how you escaped from hell and spent far too many nights thinking of painful ways that I can send you back. I have carved galaxies to the inside of my throat just to make your world a little bit easier for me to swallow, but I still can't stand the taste of your behavior. Honestly, every time you cross my path, I want to tie you to a chair, cover you in gasoline, and set your body on fire. Granted, I am no Van Helsing, but I've seen enough horror movies to know how to get rid of you. But what hurts the most is that I know, even if I kill you, there are still millions of monsters walking this earth, pretending to be men.